What's going on, everybody? We got a two-man show today. Well, at least to start. It's The Hype, episode 352. It's Cody and C-Rad here with you. Dan should be here shortly. No, C-Rad's looking around on that couch like it's lonely over here.
Yeah, I mean, usually it's either me or Doug missing, but today it's actually Dan missing.
Dan, not with us right now. We are sans Dan. We got the chat going, though, and we got plenty to talk about. We will be talking about some interesting sets that were just revealed by Panini. If you're into music, we're going to talk about that interesting Rolling Stones set coming out. The Olympics are in full swing, and we're going to talk about some rising stars, not only in the Olympic Games, but in the hobby as well. Tons of new releases. A lot of like banner releases this week. Topps Finest, Mosaic, SPX Hockey. We got Prizm WWE. A lot of big name releases this week. Plus, Topps Chrome Basketball revealed. Pre-orders came up, sold out almost instantly. We got big stuff in Fanatics Fest to talk about as well. We also have some sort of resolution for the Downtown fiasco that went down last week. We learned more before the weekend, so we'll talk a bit about that. But before we do any of that, let's talk about, I think a good place to start. It's something new, something different. I mean, something, I don't want to say new. We've had it before. What's old is new again. It's Topps Chrome Basketball.
Welcome back.
Unlicensed.
Welcome back.
And sold out almost instantly.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It actually makes sense, in the comments. If you just go off internet comments, we talk about this all the time. If you just go by internet comments, you would think like what the heck are they doing? Like, I don't want unlicensed stuff. But I mean, the sold out instantly kind of shows you that there's demand here, and it makes sense because it's Victor Wembanyama's rookie year _1. I saw that they have some type of retro LeBron set.
Yeah, that's a
huge deal. Now, I kind of would have wished they would have waited till they got the license back to do that kind of like retro LeBron set, because it would. I just feel like it would just look a little bit cooler.
Yeah.
Unless they do have him like in like his just like draft suit again. Then you can get away with it, right?
Right. If they do that, I get why they did it, because this is the 20th anniversary of the 03. So you're like, okay, we want to capitalize on that before it's too late.
Which. Yeah, you're right. It is 20th.
Yeah.
So I was like,
it would have been
2020. Oh, yeah, 03 or 4. But
yep.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I get why they want to do that, but I agree. There's a part of me of like, if you just waited like 2 more years, you could have done it with all that. And you could have been like just the throwback set. And you have these iconic cards of some of the biggest players in, with their officially licensed stuff of those Topps rookies, iconic rookies. But regardless, like, I was surprised about the non-licensed stuff being so big, other than the Wemby factor. But then you do look at the auto checklist, and
they got all the big names in there.
They got all the big names, and they've got the legends in there as well. I mean, LeBron is in there, who, again, LeBron signing anything, I think is going to vault it over a lot of products. And when you've got also Wemby, and you've got a whole list of legends in there as well. I know I saw Larry Bird in that collection. I saw, on and on and on. Lots of big names. No Steph in this for autos, should be mentioned.
Oh, for some reason I thought he was in there.
Seth is in there. I know. I saw it. I got like, Seth. Oh, it's not Steph. As far as I could tell, if anybody in the chat is looking over that as well, all I see is Seth, no Steph right now. But yeah, you've got a ton of huge legends. A few have just recently passed, like Jerry West and Bill Walton, chance to collect their autos, which is going to be, there's a lot here. I saw some KD maybe as well, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of big names, a lot of interesting stuff. The cards look really good too. Yeah, I don't know. The more you think about it, the more it's like, yeah, this kind of is a no-brainer that it was as popular as it was from the get-go,
Now, when you look at the mock-up pages, for me personally, going through the seeing what they released so far, and like in terms of like with the cards and stuff, some of it is obviously just like most like airbrush products. Like we're kind of used to, like Leaf has been doing this for obviously forever. It is kind of jarring to see certain, but then like sometimes it like. For me, sometimes it really doesn't even. It doesn't really I look at it, I'm like, okay, I don't really even notice that it's gone. But sometimes it's like, yeah, the team name not being on the jersey is pretty crazy.
I noticed that they're very you're right, because I some of these that we're
CP3
showing,
one?
yeah, we're showing some of those on the screen right now, and that CP3 in the the gold and yellow, that different variation of the Warriors jersey. As we got Dan joining us, it looks like it looks like the Jordan charity game jerseys.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is
yeah,
a
yeah.
weird look.
It looks
But
weird.
I will say, great job on the Wemby.
Wemby is great.
They very strategically
great.
placed it so they knew exactly that. Yeah, we can't show the jersey, but if that was on a Panini card, you wouldn't even think about it. You wouldn't think twice.
Yeah,
So,
they did a good job on the Wemby.
Dan, your thoughts? Are you surprised by the success of Topps Chrome basketball out of the gate? And welcome to the show.
In the words of the great Marshawn Lynch, I'm just here so I won't.
In that case, you would be finding yourself. I was going to say, we don't have that
come up
power.
with the reason why I was late.
Yeah. That's fine.
Wemby. He's good. Good
He's
ball
good.
player.
Yeah.
He's very tall.
Yeah.
He's got all the intangibles. What is the question again?
Topps Chrome basketball. Oh, we were talking about
It's sold
how
out.
I think a lot of people got surprised that it sold out, but then the more you think about it,
It
shouldn't be surprised.
No, it shouldn't be surprised. It's Topps. It's Chrome. It's basketball. Those are all three things that people love. I think the design is pretty solid. They did a good job. Very similar to the mock photos that we've seen of composite football, where there is no guessing game. It is his photo.
They tell you what team it's supposed to be on.
You know what team it's going to be. It especially the football, like C.J. Stroud. That's a Texans jersey.
Yeah.
The Wemby, I think it's a Spurs jersey, right?
They definitely are.
Yeah,
I mean, they're wearing their jerseys.
We were just talking about, as you were walking in, the fact that I like for a lot of them, like you're right, like they do a great job. It's like you know exactly what team it is, but it is kind of jarring on some of them where it's like the whole team logo or name, whatever, is missing from the jersey, like the CP3 one. I don't know if you've seen the Chris Paul one.
But we've been dealing with this with Panini baseball forever.
Forever.
So
but you know what? For Panini,
Panini
and baseball specifically, I would say
they tend to use photos where like the batter is swinging that you wouldn't be able to see
exactly.
the logos anyway.
Yep.
We're like there's
Plus-
a lot of
plus I do-
blank space on the basketball. outfit.
I do feel that like baseball jerseys are probably easier to airbrush the logos. Like the hardest is probably hockey, right? You got just a giant crest, right?
Yeah,
It's like-
there is no getting around doing like a
And I would
unlicensed
say- I would
hockey,
say-
frankly.
basketball would be tough.
Yeah.
Football, really, it's just giant letters, and sometimes a little patch here and there.
The helmets, you want to, you got to get the airbrush those helmets. which
Airbrush
is
the helmets,
fairly
but as far
easy.
as the jerseys, I think they're probably the easiest. And
Right.
Same thing with like baseball. You don't have usually have just a script or like just the letters of the city for baseball for the most part.
Yeah.
And like obviously the hats and batting helmets in baseball are a lot easier to probably Photoshop.
Yep.
Don't wear hats or helmets in basketball though.
No,
It's just,
no,
you don't have to
no.
worry about that.
No.
Just the giant jersey.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys remember which license expires first, the football or the basketball one?
I think it's basketball.
That's funny. I was gonna go. I think it's football.
I could be wrong.
think
We will go to our crack research team, aka the internet.
I think it's football.
Okay.
Actually, you know what it is?
Oh, you might be right.
You know what it is? It was the Baseball Players Association.
That was the first
that
one
was
to
the
go.
first one.
Yeah.
I believe it's football, and then I believe it's basketball. But I very well could be right. It's a 50-50.
I mean, it's a look.
It's a 50-50.
50% chance you're right.
50% chance I'm right,
And
50% chance
Correct.
Cody's right.
Correct.
Now, I think, and I asked that because I'm thinking about next year, and that would affect basketball more because there's a hype kid that's coming out of basketball next year, and it'd be nice to get licensed stuff with him.
2026 for NFL.
Oh, so it is basketball first.
I think it is basketball.
Oh, so we might actually get Cooper Flag license.
I'm wrong.
Rookie autos.
I'm wrong. Crushing.
1 point for me.
Not, I would
look,
love,
these
to,
are
I'd love
hard
to
to-
say that wasn't the first time I was wrong today.
Right.
But no, I've been wrong more than right today.
It
actually.
happens. It happens. Yeah, so it does look like 2025 for the NBA. So, I mean,
wow.
we're
at the end game.
We're a year away.
Who are
We're
we?
at the end game.
Who's the guy coming out?
Basketball.
that's-
Cooper Flag.
Yes.
So we're
But-
gonna get him, or we're not gonna get him.
But
We
again,
should-
so we're two
we
sets. We're 2 sets away from right because or can they on the 24-25 product they can now use NBA licenses?
I'm assuming the 24-25 products they'll be able to use the license.
Okay.
I got a question. All right, I don't know if you broke this yet, and I'm just gonna run right in.
Please.
So Panini did have a license that they announced, I think yesterday, that they were
believe
going to be
this is breaking
releasing a Prizm product.
Oh, we did. Yes, this was on our This Week in the Hobby, which is that's a good.
Is that coming up?
That's a good. You know what? That's a good way to get right into This Week in the Hobby. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, what is that giant, huge, breaking, ground shaking?
And very well,
Yeah.
mark my words, Chicago National VIP.
Oh.
I mean, I know that's Cody's like, I'm going.
Oh.
I'm going.
I didn't even think about
The Rolling Stones
Rolling
playing the
Stones.
Panini VIP party?
Rolling.
No,
Sto-
that would be nuts, right?
that would be kind of insane.
That would be nuts. But yeah, Rolling Stones Prizm. Get excited.
Get excited.
Get
folks.
excited.
Wow.
Get excited.
Get
First time I'm hearing about it.
Yeah. Do we think that resonates with the kids?
No. 0%. It's boy, I can tell you the conversation. Let me before we start cracking jokes. I get what Panini's doing here. I get it. You're losing your NFL. You're losing a lot of sports licenses. What do you start
You
doing?
got to keep the Prizm IP alive, right?
Exactly.
Pop culture.
And that's
Make Prizm everything.
and I actually think it's a great idea. I think it's a cool idea that they're going to have
Prizm Rolling Stones,
Right.
Prizm Care Bears, Prizm anything.
whatever.
Power
Anything.
Rangers.
Power
Yeah.
Rangers.
Who's got Ninja Turtles? That feels like one that would
Oh,
be a
I
layup.
think Ninja Turtles is probably it's going to be really expensive. That's a long.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you gotta-
It would be if Prizm Ninja Turtles that sells itself.
I think Care Bears is more of
Right.
the value
That's
point
more,
you're
that's
trying
the
to go
value
at.
grab.
Yeah.
Prizm
But-
Smurfs.
Smurfs.
You guys are right. I think like pop culture is what they got to lean into.
Yeah.
Music.
I wonder.
arts.
I wonder how much it costs to get to get the Rolling Stones.
It's not cheap.
Yeah, I don't. You probably got to work out a deal with the management company. You may have to work out a deal with the label, and you might have to work out a deal with the individual artist.
You got to
in
go
the
have
Rolling
a
Stones.
sit
So-
down with Keith Richards and Mick Jagger themselves.
Oh, but and I wish it was, and maybe it could be, but I would love for it to be a product like Immaculate, where you can get
That would be really
you can
cool.
get like guitar picks that are used on tour. You can get like pieces of drumsticks that are like used on tour. You can get pieces of set list. This is my dream product, not specifically for the Rolling Stones, but
Yep.
for all music in general. If you can
Yep.
get music memorabilia and put that into a product like Immaculate, sign me up. Sign me up. It's going to be a category that Mojobreak is going to take to the moon.
Yeah.
We will break nothing but music, pop culture products. I would be all in,
Yeah.
and
That'd be
I
dope.
guess we're going to tip our toes in the water with the Rolling Stones and see how that works.
Yeah.
It's a good starting point to go Rolling Stones because
Is
it's.
it?
I do think so.
Is it?
I do think so. I know we joke
feel-
about the
I
age
feel
gap.
you got to go a little like
A little bit in the middle. Meet in the middle.
actually, Topps is doing it. I think with like being a little bit more relevant with the
Yes.
times because they're doing the Green Day product.
Yes,
The
that
Green
would
Day-
be the meet in
Green
the middle
Day
option.
collaboration, which I think is it Green Day Garbage Pail Kids collaboration.
I
Is that,
think
is
it
that
is.
what it is?
Yes.
So that I think that the kids, even people who are 15, 16, 17, they probably know of Green Day. I don't know if that age demographic. I mean, this is like your grandparents' music. This isn't even like, this is my
you're
dad's music. This is like my grandparents' music. And maybe even my great-grandparents' music.
Well, let's not go that far.
What about the
There might
Beatles?
be
What about
someone.
the Beatles?
Dude, the Rolling Stones, like what, mid-60s?
I mean, they came up literally the same time as the Beatles.
Yeah. Could be your
Right.
great-grandparents' music.
I mean, there might be someone. You're right.
If you're
There's theoretically
if
someone
you're
out
in
there.
middle school right now, you're 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, it could be your great.
Yeah, I
grandpa.
guess when you say that, Green Day is a lot more modern,
Yeah.
way more modern.
I will say with the
Yeah,
Rolling
by
Stones,
like 40 years.
Yeah.
I think there's a built-in
You know, 4
like
decades.
there's a lot of people who collect Rolling Stones stuff. They have such iconic albums and the lips and everything. Like there's a lot of
The tongue.
the tongue, the
The
lips.
tongue.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of that I think there are a lot of people who collect that stuff, and I think they're gonna get people who maybe aren't necessarily card people who are like, well, I've got to get this because I'm a Rolling Stones mega collector.
Yeah,
so it's a safe bet in that regard.
They're up there, and again, they've been doing it so long, but they're up there with merchandising. I mean, they're not Kiss. Nobody will ever be.
that would've been the one.
Nobody will ever merchandise as well as Kiss.
Kiss knocked on their doors and were like, the moment they heard this, go, can we be next?
But
please?
as far as like merchandising, I would say Rolling Stones are probably in the top 10 of all time bands for merchandising.
Yes.
Like, think about how many like Rolling Stones like coffee mugs and ashtrays and like plates and just like random stuff around the house that you would see that would have the Rolling Stones logo on it.
Yeah.
Probably more so than, like I said, top 10 band of all times from the merchandising standpoint.
Plus, they got their own magazine, sort of.
Sort of. This is a Babe Ruth, Baby Ruth situation.
How many times have the Rolling Stones been on the cover
of Rolling Stone? Ooh, that's a good question.
And I hope it would be the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. I have to look this up now.
I would say 17 times.
The Rolling Stones on the cover of the Rolling Stone.
17 times.
17 times.
I would say. I've collected them all.
They have been on. Well, they were on there very early on. Boy, it's a lot more than 17.
Is it?
Like. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Does Rolling Stone come out weekly, bi-weekly,
They
monthly,
used to be. I think they're now
quarterly,
monthly,
yearly?
but they were bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly.
They were bi-weekly. My dad had a subscription.
I
when
mean,
was growing
just
up.
to
I
think
liked
about, like, just that's how people got their news, man.
I get it.
It's not like now TMZ. It's just
It
like
was
right
like
in your
it was
face.
exciting too. You'd sit down, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, let's do it." You got your reviews, you got your your new articles. And Rolling Stones had it all. They had music, news,
It had it all. Yeah, you could basically
entertainment.
flip through. You could see who's on the charts.
Yeah, it was fun. Oh, I
What
love
are
going on the
people?
charts.
What are people listening to this week?
Yeah, it was cool. It was they were fun.
You should go archived and just go back at like 1997 Rolling Stones. See like what were the hits.
Oh yeah, good times. I miss Rolling Stone magazine. I was gonna make a joke. All of this said, the fact that Tops is also like we're doing a set with Travis Scott and you guys are doing geriatric rockers set. Like, okay, like
Actually-
the guys at Tops and Fanatics are kind of like
Actually, if you add up all the ages of the artist in the Rolling Stones, are they the oldest active band in the world?
They might be. I can't think of another right now.
So-
the Who, well, then again, really, the Who is only down to what? Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend at this point. I think they have replacements. Who
Well, I
are
think
much
the
younger than
Rolling
them.
Stones there's three.
There's
right?
3 left. They're
Ron,
Ron
Ron Wood.
Yep.
Keith Red. Why did I come with Ron Wood first?
Yeah, I was
Said
gonna say,
nobody
the one
ever.
we all think of when we think of the
Right,
Rolling
yeah.
Stones.
The great Ron Wood. It's who I go. They're playing. I go out just to see Ron Wood.
Yeah. All kidding aside, do you think there was a conversation at the Panini VIP party where Panini was like, "We're doing this Rolling Stone set, 50 Cent. You want to be next?" 50 Cent's a big. I don't know if you could go full. Yeah, we might be able to. Do
I don't
something
see.
there. I think you can do something there.
I honestly, I think there would be a higher demand for a 50 Cent Prizm set
Really?
than there would be Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
I just,
maybe.
I just don't know if the Rolling Stones age demographic is going to be like going out and being like, I can justify buying a $200 box of cards.
Yeah.
$250 box of cards.
I think, too, what justifies they're like, we literally have 60 years of material to cover. That can fill up an entire set of cards. Whereas 20 years, 25, whatever it may be, maybe you need a little more time. But at the same time, the trends in music go so quickly. So
and I don't think there's going to be autographs in it. I think it's just going to be
that would be
parallels.
That's kind of a deal breaker, it feels like, right? Like, if you're going to, like, the whole reason to get this is the autographs in a way.
Get a Charlie Watts cut auto.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that would be the reason to get it.
I honestly, I didn't see any of the information that I saw. I did not see autographs.
Yeah.
I just saw parallels. And again, there's so much you can, from a chronological, like, there's so many historic events and venues and shows that they've played. I remember, and this is dating this because I'm a million years old. I remember there was a Rolling Stones concert that was done in 3D, and you got like the 3D glasses at like 7-Eleven or something like that.
This is like a later years Rolling Stones too, right?
This is like, I think, before you
year?
were born. I think it was
Really?
like 1993.
Because they did
Maybe they did it multiple times.
I was around.
They probably did it multiple times.
I remember when they
were
did
like,
that.
this worked so well in 1993. Let's do it
They
again in
did an album.
2001.
Well, I don't remember the album name. I don't know. It was like Big Bang or something like that. In like the mid 2000s, and I think they did the same thing when, of course, 3D movies got popular again.
Yeah, and
they did the same thing.
They're probably the like what you get at like a 3D movie theater now, like the black rimmed plastic glass. I'm talking like these were the
red and blue
paper red and blue.
Nice.
You got them like on the back of a Slurpee or something.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah.
Now, would you?
I gotta say, simpler times, man.
were.
Simpler times.
Would you guys be would you guys like this or not like this? So, like, say there is like an autograph checklist, right? And obviously the main guys are super hard to get, right? Like damn near 1-on-1s, maybe number to 10.
They put fans in there.
No, like everybody associated with the band. So like you get autographs of like the roadies.
Oh, like the producers.
You get autographs.
I'm not mad at that. I'm actually not mad at this.
Frank running the merch booth?
Frank
Frank
inscribed the merch booth.
Frank running the merch?
The guy who sets up the lights for them, you know what I'm saying?
Sold $35K in shirts on the 76 tour. Whoa.
Henry the bus driver?
The road, like a road manager.
Legit though, like a producer or like someone who was featured on an album.
The accountant.
Their accountant. I would not be mad at that if it was like people who made the albums.
I would. How about just autographs of fans? Like longest living fan.
Yeah. Honestly, respect to you. I mean, you've earned it. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
That's how you fill up that product.
There'd be some upset people. Like, I really wanted to keep Richard's auto, but I got Frank the merch guy.
Yep. Not
even the guy who designed it.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking the guy who's like taking the cash. Like, we're talking
right. He's the red. Yeah,
he's merchandising the shirts and rolling them up at the end of the night, breaking down the tables.
No one was selling those Rolling Stones wristbands better than Frank.
No, Frank.
The man knew what he
The
was
security guard.
Well, the thing about security guards, I think they hire them at different venues.
Yes.
So you'd get like,
maybe they had, but you know what?
Yeah.
Though?
Specific venue security
We should look it up.
You get the security guard from Wichita, Kansas.
After they were part of a very infamous incident. Maybe they started hiring their own security.
Oh, true.
Although it got a little out of hand.
Was that the Monterey Pop Festival?
Altamont.
Altamont.
Yeah, they also hired the Hells Angels.
I know that was in California,
Yes.
and we're going deep in the weeds here. That was in what part of California? Is it like Northern California?
Yes.
Is it like when they say Altamont? Is that like the Altamont Pass?
Yes.
Like when you're
when
you're driving to Tracy.
I want to say it's now where the Concord Pavilion is. I could be wrong. I could be totally off base on that, but it's in that area.
The Altamont Pass is where you're going to Tracy, and there's like all the windmills.
Yes.
And it's
but that's what it is.
It's kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. That would
They
be
did
it.
a show out there?
They did a show out there. It was very infamous. They also hired
the Hells Angels
as security.
As security.
So they did hire independent security.
And honestly, what could go wrong?
Yeah. And things went wrong. We won't want to get too dark on here. It's the middle of the day on this podcast. But anyway, music cards. They're kind of. We didn't even talk about it last week. Gas trading card company, which I was like looking at a few months ago and being like, why aren't these guys bigger? They're getting bigger now. They just had an M&M set that came out in conjunction with Complex that looked really cool. The cards look great. They did a Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg one. So that's another one to keep an eye on if you're like, our music cards kind of having a moment again, which we've been wanting for a while. Specifically on this podcast, I feel like we have been very explicit about our love of music cards.
It's also concerning that when music cards really came into the fold, like when they were like mass produced, it was right in the middle of the gnarliest junk wax era ever. So if you start wanting to run, like, put your tinfoil hat on and be like, want to run parallels of the two different times, we're
You're
like,
right.
Now we're doing music cards. The sky's falling.
I know, you're right.
Like, this is, history repeats itself. And last time we did this, like, all cards were worth nothing.
Yeah. The hope is with these cards, though, at least these releases, they have been like they are very exclusive. You got to get in within the 24-hour period. We're only going to print to order, whatever it may be.
I think the good thing is that we've all lived through our industry mistakes, or at least know about it, or people who are, you know, pushing the buttons have been through it. Like, we still have, like, some vets in this industry that were around during the first generation of the junk wax era, and they know what to do and what not to do when it comes to they're not gonna go full on and just completely repeat history. I also think that the way it's produced with the amount of sets, like the amount of cards, the amount of cardboard that is produced today is probably more than what was produced in 1992. The issue with 1992 is that they were producing all of that, but it was like three sets. Now we can divide it through however many releases we get in a whole calendar year, which is a lot more than 3. It's like 300.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that in itself it's a pretty good safety net for preventing a junk wax era.
Yeah. I guess, I think so.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do.
Everyone's learning their lessons. I totally agree.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. We'll be all right. Don't worry about
it. We're fine. We got the Rolling Stones Prizm coming out. We're good. We're good.
No, I totally agree that there's lessons that have been learned, and I think we're going to be better off. So let's a couple more things for this week in the hobby. I wanted to bring up Olympic cards. It's just kind of something I was browsing about because I've been seeing enough talk of like, oh, this Olympic card just sold for this Olympic card sold for that. They are selling for big bucks. We featured the Katie Ledecky one, which just sold, I believe the highest selling just sold for $22.50. A couple others have recently sold. One, these are out of that new Olympic hopefuls set. The Dynasty cards just had one actually that sold for $3,000. Huge numbers for Olympics. But yeah, if you were to be like the best player in that sport, the most decorated athlete in that sport, their absolute best card sold for $3,000, I would still be like, it's not bad. Like, if you were a buyer on that, I'd be like, well, okay. So I ask you, Olympians, are they a buy?
I can add a little insight here. I can pull back the curtain a little bit because I just did some analytics specifically on this release for what we sold, and we only got 2 cases total.
I didn't even see any.
They flew.
Conrad didn't even see it. It came in so quick.
Is that a product?
Yeah. Well, you were in Cleveland, and by the time you got back, it was gone.
They flew off
we got
the shelves.
2, and they've had other Olympics. They've done it multiple times, and they've done it for Winter Olympics, they've done it for Summer Olympics, and it's never performed well. And it also has an extremely short shelf life.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, with the 2 cases that we ripped, and we are out of them now, It was, and this is hold on to your microphones there. You guys are gonna get crazy. It's the best performing product that we've had margin wise all year.
Wow.
Yeah.
No wonder I didn't see any.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So
Wow.
we literally margin wise, it was the best performing product that we've had all year. Granted, we only had 2 cases of it.
Yeah, so that means they didn't make a lot of it either.
Yeah. 2 cases. The shop may have had. I think the shop may have had a case or 2 as well. But
And
as
they
far
flew through it, too.
as far as group breaks, we only had 2 cases listed, and it was the best performing. But I still am in the mindset where you gotta strike while the iron's hot. You gotta move it right away. And they did. They moved it, I think, at the hottest time. It may hold its value. You don't know. There's an uncertainty. I don't know if in 3, 4, 5, 6 months people are going to be going back to the well and being like, I really want to rip some.
Well, unless like what really needs to happen if you're prospecting on certain Olympians,
it's 4 years.
It's got to be a Michael Phelps level type of player, like an athlete.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the only examples I can recall where he keeps his value, if not his value grows over time. Like he's really one of the only Olympians I could think of where
Simone
his
Biles.
cards. Yeah,
Right.
When was her
That's the thing.
rookie Olympic card?
And she doesn't have any
2016 Olympics, I think.
I have it up right here. What her biggest one is 2016 is her most popular card.
Whenever they had the Olympics, I think was it 2021?
Where it was like the 2020, but it was a 21. Yeah.
So they had that Olympics where she did not perform well.
She didn't perform.
She had what is actually called, and my wife's a huge gymnastics fan, but it was called the twisties.
Twisties. She got the twisties. Yes.
Which I think in baseball it's called something completely different.
The yips.
The yips.
Yeah.
But the twisties.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't well. She did not have a good Olympics.
I don't believe she.
And it was
performed.
questionable if she was going to do a 3rd Olympics, and she did. She obviously did. And I think it's over now. She got the team got the gold, and
she got gold, and she got two other golds.
She might have peppered in a couple more.
Yeah, plus a silver in there. So
yeah,
she did well for herself.
She rides off in the sunset. I don't think she has another Olympics in her because that would put her at 32.
Yeah, 31, 32 in the
is
2028 games.
Which is like
75 in gymnastics years.
It's Keith Richards of gymnastics.
Wow.
Hey, she's like the fact that her and actually the other big performer from Brazil is Andrade, I believe. Rebecca Andrade.
Yeah.
They both kind of defied the odds of like she's like 28, 29, Simone Biles 27. So they both are like it's like they are the equivalent of LeBron still dominating the league at 40 years old.
It does seem like the culture in gymnastics. This is an interesting podcast. We are
Olympics, baby. Olympics,
but
and
it seems like
Rolling
the
Stones.
culture is slowly changing where you would hit like 22 years old and this would be your last Olympics. Like this is your last ride. You don't really see the Olympics at 24, 22, 24, that's it. Start at like 16.
Mm-hmm.
They are actually changing the culture now where they're like your body is actually getting stronger in your mid 20s. So that is actually now your prime.
Which is
how every other sport works.
Which kind of mirrors football and basketball with
Right.
Tom Brady and LeBron James. They kind of like defy the odds the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy that's.
And I think that's also with the advent of modern medicine allowing these athletes to play longer.
I also think
healthier.
like mentally, right? Like mentally, if you've like done it 2 or 3 times in the Olympics on that stage, like
you're so much more
if you're
calm.
16 years old and you're going through like all this stress and pressure, like how do you keep it together? Like
Crazy.
I think that being in that mid 20s, I think is probably the total prime.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say one other thing with the Olympic, the value in the hobby itself that I think is something that might go against it. Whereas I do think a lot of these cards, like it's crazy that the biggest card of like a Katie Ledecky or a Simone Biles is going for the same as like the 40th best NBA player. You know, it's kind of nuts. But part of it too is I always feel like Olympics, where like sports people will watch the Olympics. We enjoy the Olympics, but I really think the people who love the Olympics don't follow like a single sport all the time, like all year in, year out. Like I think there's a lot of crossover of like, I love the Olympics. Okay, you know, do you watch football? No, not really. Do you watch baseball? Not really. Basketball? No, not really. Just I like the Olympics. Like there's a different spectacle to it. There's a different, like they love the storylines or the, you know, the whole spectacle of it, where I don't think you get that as much with the team sports.
I watch sports once every 4 years.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of like people who love Olympics. I think they fall under that category.
I think psychologically they're probably a lot healthier. I mean,
frankly,
like
yes.
watching sports day in and day out, it's painful, man.
It's
painful. And you got football season right around the corner, and that's where it really hurts.
If you're a US Olympic fan, you're walking away number one, minimum number two on the medal count every time. Easy.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
Man, it's appealing.
But have we gotten a little far with the Olympics, and the sports are calling Olympic sports now? Like,
well,
are we?
Look, don't get me started on. There's no baseball or softball, but we've got breakdancing and equestrian. So.
Yeah, and
You know,
I saw
dancing horses.
I saw this game, and I'd never seen it before. There's no league. I don't think there's a league, but it's like handball.
Yeah.
You're just running around and you're throwing a ball. It's like soccer. If instead of using your feet, you use your hands.
Yeah.
Sometimes you dribble, sometimes you don't. You could toss it around. They basically put up about 40 or 50 goals. It's like the easiest game to score in history. They put up 40 to 50 goals every game.
So you can just carry?
You can just carry.
Okay.
Sometimes you dribble. I don't know why you would dribble, but
Yeah,
sometimes
why would you ever dribble?
There's no reason.
Sometimes I see them dribble.
Right.
There probably has to be some, but there is a lot of traveling.
I think maybe it's like you have to dribble every like 10 seconds or something.
I have
or 5 seconds.
I have no idea. But I mean, where does it end?
I guess for that,
are we gonna have rock paper scissors?
I need esports in the Olympics. Honestly, I need esports in the Olympics.
No, esports, but skateboarding I get.
Skateboarding, I totally get.
Skateboarding, I get.
Yeah.
Breakdancing, I don't know how you. It's objective, right?
Yeah.
You're like that person. I like the way they danced. They get a high score. I don't like the way they dance. They get a low score.
Right. Right. That one seems, yeah.
No,
like
there's technical elements to breakdancing.
I was going to say, you can't make the argument of like, figure skating or like the floor exercise and gymnastics is kind of in the same realm.
It's kind of like the same thing.
But I do think that it is a little more on the objective side rather than it's tough.
No.
How many spins can you do on your head?
That's true.
We cannot be comparing the floor exercise to breakdancing.
No, don't get me wrong.
No.
The athletic ability on the floor exercise versus breakdancing, I think, is probably outweighs it.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Although, look, let's see Simone Biles spin on her head, okay? That's all I'm saying. But she probably could. But, yeah, there you go. The Olympics are fun. But we're getting baseball and softball back in 2028, finally. And we might get Major League.
I think the thing that always will give a product legs is supply and demand, and I don't think they made a lot of it, so that helps if you're collecting the set.
Yep. I think they probably based it on how it performed
previously.
Yep.
And they obviously revamped the design and added so much more content to it.
Mm-hmm. Adding the chance of the dynasty.
Look, I mean, it was one of those licenses that they had.
Fanatics.
That they needed to basically boost up. And how do you boost it up in 2 years when we have the Winter Olympics? You make it one of the best products. Like I said, it was the best performing product that we had all year. So you better believe the Winter Olympics, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We're going to try to order more, and we're going to be hyped and ready to rip that product.
Yeah.
They'll probably make some more of it.
Yeah. Yep.
I saw Jake actually in Slack. He's already asking if he can have a case of it.
For Winter Olympics?
Yeah.
Hey, you got to be ready. Milan 2026 is, I don't know how many months away, but it's a while.
He's asking what his allocation is. That's all he's saying.
Is it Milan?
It is in Milan, yes.
Okay,
I
that's-
believe, yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And then the next Olympics,
L.A.?
LA, just SoFi.
I mean, they're going to have the swimming at SoFi. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
pretty-
And track
I'm
and field's going to be at the old
I mean,
Coliseum.
well, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
It'd be ridiculous.
Well,
Like,
I actually didn't. I was surprised with the swimming at SoFi. I thought, okay, they're going to have track and field at the brand new shiny football stadium. Nope, we're going to go to the old one.
you go to the old one.
Yeah.
You go to the one. You go to the one that was built for that. It's
cool.
it's the Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's built for the
Coliseum.
Olympics.
You're right. You're right. It's literally the
It was,
Olympic
it was.
Coliseum.
I think it was built when the Olympics were first invented.
Yep.
All right, tell me something because I didn't get a chance to look at this product. I don't even know what any of the cards look like.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for one card only that I'm gonna collect in PC. The Turkish Hitman. Tell me he's in there.
Oh yeah, the guy who got viral, the who won. Did he win gold or he won
No,
silver?
he won silver
I
because
do. I
But
do believe
everybody
you're gonna
had those crazy looking goggles, and they looked like robots. And he just went up there, just like he got up off from the couch and won silver.
yeah, that's
He's
my
awesome.
dude.
Yeah, he's
So,
awesome.
I do believe it's just U.S. Olympics.
Oh,
Yeah, that's how they get. That's
No,
how they
well,
really.
If they
going.
make it and they get the license for every Olympic performer, this could be
be big.
a product that could stand alone.
Yeah, and you get some international legends like you throw it if they can find a way to get like Usain Bolt in there. That would be a big deal. Yeah,
Okay.
they get the guy from Turkey.
Got you. I need my Turkish Hitman, dude. I'm telling you,
That guy,
Stone Cold.
That guy ruled.
He was Stone Cold up there,
Yeah.
man.
Also, it's fun is because people become like this. Like they become stars for other reasons. The other one is the guy with the glasses, the pommel horse guy. Do you know what I'm talking about on the U.S. men's team? And it's like everyone's like, oh, he had glasses that made him look like, oh, he's like Clark Kent. Like, and then he would take them off the moment he was going on pommel horse and literally would like turn into Superman.
Yeah, I know who you're
Yeah,
talking about.
and he
Right.
became a internet legend. And I don't know if he's in this product, but if he is, suddenly the demand is. If people look at that and go, "Oh, he's in this too," great, I'm in. I want that guy
Do
Yep.
you think we can make competitive eating
in the Olympics.
in the Olympics?
Oh boy.
Do you think it's that far of a stretch?
No.
No,
I mean,
I think it's time.
it's an incredible
and
physical.
and there's
feat.
one thing the U.S. can do. I mean, we
can eat.
We can eat.
We can eat.
We can eat, and we're the best at
Joey
it.
Chestnut
Joey Chestnut
in the Olympics.
in the Olympics.
And I'm like just on the same vein of like eating contest. I'm 100% serious. I would love to see esports in the Olympics. Like people actually competing in video games. Like
I don't think. I mean, look, there are sports here. 20 years, 25 years. The X Games are basically gone now because we put them all in the Olympics.
I
don't think anyone
believe
predicted that 25 years
if I think esports would come before competitive eating, but I think within the next 2 Olympics, both of those might be in there.
There would be
Hell
such a.
yeah.
There's going to be a lot of athletes who they would get picked on in the Olympic Village. All the they'd be like, really.
well, you know that guy who's
I'm
like
so
you know,
I'm
you
so
know that
I'm
guy,
the next guy.
the one that
apartment
talks
over.
crap about men's basketball because it's like you didn't win a world championship.
Oh yeah, Noah Lyles. Yeah.
He would talk crap about the esports.
Oh,
kids.
dude, he would go
Now,
in
what-
on those guys.
The issue with the esports is that what game would you? Because you'd have to pick one universal game. That
Universal,
Would
and there's tons of games that are
Yeah.
played universally across the world.
There would be like
But it-
there's like 3 or 4.
be, but it's like, could you imagine the amount of money those companies that produce that game would get if
Oh,
that is
yeah.
like that now is the benchmark for the greatest like esport players in the Olympics? Like that would be huge. That'd be huge for whatever game, like whoever develops, like if it's like Fortnite or something like that. That would be
Yeah.
like,
Fortnite in the Olympics.
Yep.
You heard it here first. All right, let's move on to some new releases before we get into. Actually, before we do that, we don't have to talk about it too much. We talked about it a lot last week. The Downtown optic stuff. Panini came out and said, "Whoopsie, our bad. There was an allocation error." That's what it sounded like, right? That it was like, "Yep, we misprinted. There was an allocation error. Our bad."
that happened.
Good enough? I feel like everyone's just kind of moved on.
What
can you do?
Hey, yeah, you're just like, okay,
As like for me, the whole thing was like obviously, if I'm a consumer, obviously I would want to go after FOTL. But the fact that at the very least they've kept it the same as it's always been for hobby.
Yeah.
At the very least, right? that we are getting our downtown one per case, which doesn't seem as exciting to the people that are ripping FOTL that's getting a million of them in a case. But at the very least, I'm satisfied with that because it's what hobby's always been.
I mean, they probably didn't even have to acknowledge it. They did. It is what it is. Would I prefer that to not be the case and for them not to? I think everybody would prefer it to not be the case and not make the mistake, except for the handful of people that secured the bag by taking a chance and getting the first off the line.
And then the customers that were able to join in those breaks.
Yeah. Now, I've already been hit up, and I think that now there's a weird speculation that, at least for the next handful of releases, FOTL stuff, it's going to be loaded. It's going to be loaded. They're going to like now.
Well, we got another one coming out. Like what is it?
Well, yeah, and I got hit up for Mosaic basketball, and I'm like, oh, this is funny. Now I'm dealing with like distributors that are now selling me first off the line, trying to play in, and they were doing it before, but now I think like now it's just trying to play into the hype. It's like, oh man, printing facility, they're first off the line is loaded. All the good stuff is coming out of first off the line. They're going to basically, and that's not the case. We're going to know once there's 3 or 4 or 5, 6 releases and it's breaking the same exact way it was breaking before. This is an isolated incident, but there's always going to be people who are going to try to capitalize on the hype of something with the uncertainty and the unknown.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sure was quiet on the Mosaic basketball. Do we have FOTL for Mosaic? I'm assuming we did.
Yeah, people were breaking it yesterday.
Yeah, sure was quiet on that front. So clearly this was a one-off thing that we can assume for now.
Yeah, I mean, do I think there's more details than what Panini came out and said? Panini doesn't have to come out and basically give the inner workings of how this situation actually happened. They don't have to. But I do think there's more to it than just isolated incident. This just happened. I'm like, okay, but you're telling me that there were no more at any point. There's no more downtowns that were produced than what there originally was slated to be. I feel that this was caught, and there were probably more downtowns produced. This product was pushed back multiple times. Months. So, to me, it's just a coincidence, or it's too much of a coincidence for it to be pushed back months, and then it comes out and there's this glaring
Plus,
issue.
it's like you just can't defeat the math. Like, if there's 3 downtowns per box, every other box in FOTL, that means there's going to be missing a lot of downtowns in the print run. So you have to make more downtowns.
Now, I never want a case to come out and not have a product, but if that was the case, and there was a bunch of cases that were loaded up and boxes that were loaded up with downtowns, there would be first off the line cases that had none. And there would be a substantial run that were supposed to have one, but they all got put in 30, 40 of these cases. These 30, 40 cases are loaded. But I didn't see a lot of people coming out and being like, I ripped an FOTL case and I got zero downtowns. So that makes me feel that they caught it and they went back and they were like, we need to print more because there's 10, 15, 20% of the first off the line that the machine just got out of whack and just started getting its YOLO on.
Yeah. I mean, I opened up a lot of optic hobby this past weekend. So I can say with certainty, the other rare inserts, because they always put in 4 or 5 rare inserts, right? Especially for something like optic. So the other rare inserts, the mythical and the blazers, they were loading those up, multiple of them in the same box. So I think Panini's maybe way of, being like, okay, FOTL, you guys got all these downtowns, but then the other rare inserts, hobby, you're getting a bunch of them in the same box too. So I think that's how they maybe tried to kind of fix it.
Yeah.
Go
ahead, Dan.
There's some weird pack out manufacturing things that I feel that are going on with Panini. 100%. I don't know if anybody else is realizing this, but it feels
100%.
Like-
I've actually been feeling like that for the past year.
Like
year and
we've
a half
had
already.
contenders. Contenders is and I've been dealing with this all day today. Contenders. Some obvious quality control issues.
Yeah.
We have the cracked ice that is a different film.
Mexican cracked ice.
Well, yes.
The cartel's cracked ice.
It's the Modelo cracked ice.
Leave it there.
And the number to 99, maybe even the number to 199, where it has that kind of glossy film on it, that is just chipping off.
The
That
glossy
is-
film.
Yeah, the glossy film is chipping off,
Yeah.
and it's looking like speckled. And it basically falls off by moving the card, putting the card in a top load, putting the card in a sleeve. It's just flaking off. So that is also another issue.
Oh, I didn't get to bring this up to you guys, so this kind of goes in line with what you're saying. So this is the funniest thing. 'Cause the same thing reason I've been opening up a lot of Optic. So you guys know about the blue ice, right? And Optic, it's the blue ice number to 15, and it looks like how we think of normal cracked ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the contenders cracked ice. However, and there's been a few boxes in the same box. I pulled 2 base blue ice. One is the one we've always known, and guess what? There's one that looks like the contenders cracked ice, but it's also number to 15, the exact same parallel. But there's 2 different cracked ice in the same product.
Always nice. Double nice.
So they gave us the regular cracked ice and the Mexican cracked ice in the same box, in the same product. So it's almost like they printed in 2 different facilities, gathered all the cards up in one facility, and then packed it out.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. We got there's obviously some growing pains moving to a different printing facility.
Yeah. What's interesting too is I feel like when you're the things that have gained the most momentum, at least on social media and among, when we're talking about things, are the mistakes that have been made in the first year, now almost 2 years of Fanatics taking over Topps, which obviously there have been some mistakes that should be talked about, some quality control stuff that should be talked about. But yeah, this stuff you're right. The Panini side of things, I feel like, has not been publicized as much as they're getting flack from a lot of collectors regardless. I feel like this stuff isn't making as much waves. And only now with this FOTL thing, things are now kind of being like, now wait a minute.
I think I got a theory about that, though. So, like, in the last 2 years since Fanatics has taken over Topps, they have been marketing with just a giant blowhorn megaphone just out, just throwing like money and marketing and just doing 10 times, 20 times, 30 times more marketing than Topps is doing before. You do that,
You make yourself a target.
and you're a giant target at that point. And you're like always posting, you're always showing stuff, you're like readily available. Where Panini has taken the opposite approach, where I feel like they used to do more marketing and they used to blast out a lot more stuff, but they've kind of stopped doing that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like crickets over there when it comes to marketing. So they don't get a lot of blowback because they're not like people are not getting Panini content basically blasted into their face on an hour-to-hour basis like Fanatics is doing with Topps.
Very true.
And that is my take.
You're right. And I think you're right because I think also whenever there's like a Panini mistake, the comments and they're kind of brutal. They're always like, "Well, it is what it is. What you expect?" Well, it's like so. How many of those comments do we see?
Can't wait for them
those?
to lose the license.
Right, like every single time.
Well,
It's
you
like
actually
any small
both
little mistake.
manufacturers get the same exact
They do.
comment
They do.
because it's Panini.
You've ruined the hobby.
Panini will get comments. It's like, I'm so glad that they're losing the license. Then you go to a Topps post, and it's like, this is going to be the end of it. I
Yes.
wish Panini can just keep the license. I'm all,
Which one do you want?
you can't. Like, literally, it's the same comment. It's like we are like.
Oh God. You're right. You pick a side. Real quick before we talk, before we wrap things up with Fanatics Fest.
We should be able to take like a month break from all social media posting.
Boy,
like,
would that be
where you just like you basically go.
I say this as post all the social media stuff. I don't mean it.
You have to take a
my
month
livelihood.
and you just got to go like you got to converse and talk to people face to face, and all the media you get is just print media. Or you could do.
So we
like,
just revert back to like 1975.
So yeah, you got to go down. You got to get newspaper.
Uh-huh.
You got to open that up. You got to read that. You can listen to the radio.
Okay.
And
can we watch TV?
FM. No TV.
No TV.
We go.
So we're reverting
going,
back to like 1940.
Yeah, we're going print media. We're going AM radio.
Can I go to the movies?
You can go to the movies.
Okay, so it's like 1940.
You can go to the movies. They're not going to have a newsreel. You're just gonna get trailers. We're not going to go that crazy.
Okay, I'm like, wait a minute, but I do need to get my news.
You're getting
more
from
than
a
print
paper.
media.
They make
but I want to
papers-
hear
They make papers every day.
headline 1940 out 3. Something like that. That's what I want.
And just you do that for a month. I think everybody would just be so refreshed, coming back and just ready to, be polite.
If
and
that
just
were to
be-
happen, I think I would for a month take a role as a little like extra, read all about it on the street corner. That's what I would do. That would be my job for a month.
You can go
Hawking
re-up-
papers.
You can go re-up the subscription to Rolling Stone.
Yeah, there you go. That's what we. And it comes full circle. Before we get into
That's my dream.
yeah,
Anybody-
Dan's dream is that we all revert back to
I think that's gonna be-
1947
I think that's
technology.
going to be my next interview. Where they're like,
Yeah.
where do you see, where would you like this industry to go? And I'll be like, well, I would like us to all go to print media.
Yeah.
I want to go back.
Revert back.
I want to go back to 1941, 42 ish, and
Yeah.
just.
Technology-wise, of course,
Technology-wise, yeah, not
not like
I don't want
the war.
I don't want to do World War II or anything like that. No, just technology-wise. So I just feel it was like a simpler time. Like you actually had conversations with. Well, no, I don't know because I wasn't.
You weren't there.
I was -40.
Yeah,
So
yeah. The moment you're like, oh, I don't want to get out of the house to get there, you're like,
I don't know.
uh-oh,
I don't-
DoorDash doesn't exist anymore. Oh no.
I don't know. I could also be crazy because maybe it was terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always anyway. We can get into this later. Let's move on before we get into a little bit of Fanatics Fest talk. There is a lot of big new releases this week. Topps Finest is out with a new look or sort of a refreshed look. Mosaic Basketball, SPX Hockey, WWE Prizm. I feel like big releases for all of these sports across the board. Like these are all pretty marquee products for all 4 of these. That we haven't seen. This is what, our 3rd WWE Prizm? Is that right, or is there a second? I can't remember. I think
Might
it's
be
the
the
3rd.
fourth one already.
Is it
too.
the 4th already?
be.
Jeez, time flies. Any thoughts on any of these? What you've seen so far? We've been ripping a lot of Finest this morning into the afternoon. It looks great. Always think Topps Finest baseball is very underrated. Kind of like I'm cool with the new layout, the new configuration. No more mini boxes; those are now gone, which we kind of knew with Finest Soccer a couple months ago or a month or so ago. Any of these you're looking forward to the most? Mosaic Basketball. What do you think, C-Rad? How do you think it's gonna? Your general feelings on Mosaic Basketball?
The best rip for me is probably it's got to be between Finest Baseball or maybe SPX Hockey.
Yeah.
For sure. Finest has always been one of those products pre-Fanatics where it's like it's a staple, but it wasn't the most exciting release for most folks. I feel like it was another, obviously another Chrome product. So, in general, it did have obviously people trying to get into that set. But I'm curious to see. We've always every new release of Topps. I'm always curious to see how did Fanatics Topps improve this release from what I previously know. So I'm very excited to rip Finest because I haven't seen it yet at all. I know it has like a little bit of a newer, updated design, which is par for the course. Like that's what I expect from Fanatics Topps these days. Like
the common, uncommon, rare distinctions. Are something to watch.
I like that.
I like it too.
I like that. I feel like it goes every other year. They have one year where it's like kind of a scaled back, not as busy design for the base. And then they go full on confetti design where it just gets like nuts. And they go like every other year. This year, it's one of those kind of crazier designs for the base.
Yeah.
It's a little busy for me.
It's very abstract, like kind of got a little like a Jackson Pollock painting, like splatter all over.
I like the years where it's scaled back a little bit, and it's a little bit more of like a finest regular.
Yeah.
Baseball card regular, not abstract art craziness. But as far as the content and the way it breaks, I think it's always been a tremendous value to the consumer. I think it's always been. It doesn't hold obviously the same weight as parallels and autos that you would get out of Bowman, Topps Chrome. It's like finest autos always sell for a little bit less of the marquee players as the big flagship. But as far as like the look of it and what you get per box and how it breaks down, I think it's a good value. And I think it's going for it's a little pricey. Yeah, I think today it was trending around $350 a box.
Wow,
that is high.
That is high for finest.
So I would love to see it at that. I think, and we might be past this in the industry, but like 200, I think is the sweet spot for the overall like consumer value. 250 is doable. You start getting over 250, and it starts pricing people out.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, usually what I feel like the last couple of years have been in that 250 range. I
think it's gone up though.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing.
It has.
Like it comes out at a 250 price point, and then it ends up going up to 350. But I feel out of the gate, and I looked at some of the bigger online retailers today, and it was already at 350.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there's more room for it to go up. I don't think anybody should be doing personal boxes for $400, $450. At that point, it's designed for a group break because it needs to be crowdsourced. It needs to be broken down by 30 teams as opposed to somebody. I mean, at that point, it's 30. I mean, what? If it's $350, $400, it's $3,200 a case.
Skeens rookie autos, we still don't have them, right? We have base. I don't think we have autos of Skeens at this point in these MLB products. Am I
don't
correct?
think so.
So I was gonna say maybe
it would be a lot. It would be a way more of a bigger deal if it had Skeens auto.
Yeah, they'd be knowing. We just talked about the promotion of Topps. They'd be touting that like crazy. It's like this is the first product, you can get it.
Yep.
So yeah, I was just thinking could be. I know it's a really, really big rookie class this year, and like a lot of interesting like guys who have actually done pretty well this year. So that's a part to play in. And of course, go to Mojobreak.com. All those break. Oh, we're ripping all that stuff all weekend long. Fanatics Live as well. Head on over there. All that latest stuff. Before we head out, we got Fanatics Fest updates.
Yes, sir.
NYC 1 week away.
I got an odd question for everybody who's on the air right now.
Sure.
Is this our last podcast before?
No,
we have one more.
Well, and now
on the spot.
Now we're gonna get. What's your flight? When are you leaving? When are you heading out of here? Thursday, right?
I think we're all leaving on
Wednesday.
a red eye.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Okay. No, we'll be back on the air before then.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do it. We'll throw that out there now if you're watching live.
Because it would be a really, really. I don't know if we're gonna have the Wi-Fi on the red eye to basically. Zoom in.
Be
very uncomfortable.
I would not do.
We would
not do that to you guys. It'll be a Tuesday live edition.
People love it though. People would love a podcast zoomed in on a flight.
Zoom, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Airline podcast. And I'm not talking
From
a
first
private
class?
jet too.
No.
From first class?
Oh no.
No.
Oh no. From your
middle
you didn't
seat.
Get to, middle seat on Southwest,
seat,
baby.
Middle seat, row, I don't know, 38.
Yeah.
You know.
And if someone missed their flight, they're like, well, all that was left was the back row seat on Spirit.
Could you imagine? Just we're all like sitting in different parts of a plane and we're just like doing a podcast, like how annoying that would be for
God.
Everybody would be like, they need to go. They
What
need
would
to
be
get out
really
the
funny too is that because
bring the air marshal out. They're gonna get escorted off.
because you can't always hear like if you're in like one part of the like if you're in like the front part of the plane, you're not necessarily hearing what's happening in the back of the plane. Like you got the it's so loud when you're in the air. So it would be like these isolated conversations really, and be like, what is happening right now? Unless someone will walk the hall of the bathroom and they realize, oh, these.
What if we just
these
all had
idiots
the
are all
same?
talking to
What if we were all
themselves?
just in the same row though?
No, I think.
I mean, look, that would be
I think-
ideal because you only need to
I
bring
think
one camera then.
I think it would be.
They'll share a mic.
I think it would be it would be a more obnoxious situation if
You're
we were
all in different spots.
separate. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Like all middle seats,
All middle seats,
all
yes.
separate. Like you're just like next to somebody you don't even know. You're like, yeah, I'm just on podcast.
Yeah. Hey, you want to chime in?
Yeah. Do it. I'll take some trail mix or
Yeah.
whatever. No,
I can't get a ginger ale. Thanks. Yeah. So about about Fanatics Fest.
It's yeah. I mean, what are they giving you now on a flight? They don't give you peanuts anymore. I think we're out
No,
of the
they don't
peanut
give you
game.
peanuts. No.
They give you the
Pretzels. Usually.
Pretzels.
Or some sort of like a sweet snack of some kind. Yeah, that's usually the go-to at this point.
Some airlines give you like a cookie. Like
Cookies,
it's
yes.
it's
or like if you get a coffee, they'll give you a little like what do they call it? A little biscotti. Cookie.
yeah,
What
it's
do
like a breakfast cookie.
a breakfast cookie.
I think they call them biscuits in
Biscuits,
England.
Yes, they would call it a biscuit.
What do they call it in Paris?
Oh, who the hell knows?
Call it a cookie.
They call it, yeah, lay cookie. That's what they call it.
Sorry to all our French listeners.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So, yeah, anyway. All right. Fanatics Fest. We got a couple of things have been announced. We mentioned it a little earlier that Travis Scott. It's part of a Cosmic Chrome,
Hell yeah.
which is I don't know if it's like they're gonna add it in or it's its own set.
It's its own
exclusive.
set.
It's its own set. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a Travis Scott Cosmic Chrome.
Only
set.
1,000 made, they said.
They look really nice. The cards look really cool.
And I
Is
love
it-
the fact. I
is
love
it-
the fact
is it
that
kind of how is it like designed by Travis Scott with like ball players on it, or is
Yes.
it,
So it's
so
got
it's like a Ben Baller.
Yes, and it's like a curated list of players, but it includes like Ellie De La Cruz, Paul Skeens, and you got Judge and Soto and all the big names as well. Speaking of those guys, you're gonna also have your Top Chrome Fanatics Fest New York exclusive set, where I thought this was all gonna be New York athletes because it's all the New York skyline behind them, but it is other. It's basically Topps Chrome. It looks like, but just with the New York skyline.
yeah, the
in the
Big
background.
Apple,
So,
Big Apple,
pretty
Big
cool.
Apple refractor.
Big Apple refractor.
Big Apple refractor. I like it. And then the one last huge addition to the event is the.
I don't think it's the last one because we're still
getting a couple more.
I'm sure they're gonna announce more
You're
stuff.
right. They're gonna announce another
Oh, are
one.
you gonna okay.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. They're having a press conference Sunday, the last day. It's gonna be really the last hurrah at Fanatics
Please,
Fest
Michael,
at
to the
2
love of
Eastern.
God, don't take that fight.
I don't think we're gonna be there.
I was gonna. Now this is. I mentioned this. We did a little video yesterday. I mentioned like
I don't want to move my flight.
right, like. What is the thing? We've all been to a ton of shows. We've been to the Nationals. We've been to some people have been to Comic-Cons or whatever. It's like, what is the one thing? You're all out of there by 1 or 2 in the afternoon usually.
I think they're also bringing in the UFC ring,
That's pretty cool.
the octagon.
Yeah.
And
Now,
we're gonna have to squab for our allocation.
someone's gonna
Going-
get pinned down.
going 3 rounds.
So
for your
who's tapping
allocation.
out? Yeah. Oh, Mojobreak's tapping out. They're not gonna
No.
receive 2025 Topps Chrome.
We're not tapping out. not gonna happen.
Could you imagine? So yeah, this Jake Paul Mike Tyson press conference is happening last day. Yeah, I mean, look, they keep adding names. We were looking too at the like podcast / TV stage. Like First Take is going to be filming live there Friday. Adam Schefter's doing a live podcast there. They're doing this was awesome for me. Best Damn Sports Show's doing a reunion.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom Arnold.
Tom Arnold will
that-
be in the building.
That right there is the most exciting thing for me.
I can't. It is literally
That-
Tom Arnold, John Sally, Chris Rose.
Dude,
they're all
that-
there.
That is legit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many people are going to be as excited as me,
I think you're gonna be surprised.
Yeah. Well, they're also going to have Michael Irving as part of it.
This thing's probably gonna be packed, dude.
I think that's going to be a big. I think it's going to be
a
surprising.
lot of the people who are going, that was before their time.
Well, they're appealing to everyone. I saw there's a couple of big Twitch streamers that are going to be out there as well. Like Drewski's going to be there too. Like they are appealing to
I have no idea.
everybody.
I have no idea who that is.
Trust me, if there's a certain subset that went, oh wow, well now I should find a way to go if he's going to be there. So
What?
yeah, oh sure, you've seen Drewski. I can tell you that. You've seen him. If I showed you a picture of him, you go, oh yeah, I know that guy. I've seen him in commercials.
Commercials?
Yes. He was part of a big NBA commercial campaign during the playoffs. I want to say like they were doing like an NBA Google team up. Yeah. He's like he's
a comedian.
He's a social media influencer comedian. Yeah. Very big on like he goes on IG Live and gets literally hundreds of thousands, if not millions.
He's been
of
on a few
watching.
Drake videos.
Bigger than Tom Arnold.
Right now, yes.
Yeah.
Right now, Drewski's bigger than Tom
Son of a bitch.
So, but anyway, these are the last things. Obviously, you guys will be out there. Make sure to try to get Tom Arnold on the podcast. Let's do it.
I just could imagine that Tom Arnold probably has some pretty epic stories.
Oh yes, I guarantee you.
I just foresee him being like one, and I have no idea. I've never really seen anything with him, but I have a feeling that he just kind of comes off as a tremendous storyteller.
Yes. I've listened to a couple podcasts with him where I was like, this is the most insane man ever, and I love this, and the stories are wild.
Yeah.
They're good. I was actually saying we were kind of doing a scouting out, like, who can we try to get? Like, hey, if you're going to Fanatics Fest, you probably got a DM from us saying, hey, would you like to come and talk to us? And I did. It was our one of our newer guys, young Alex, who was going there, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to have these younger guys," and I went, "I know you don't know who this is, but Tom Arnold, just trust me. Doug and Dan will think that's the greatest thing in the world if you're like Tom Arnold is going to come talk to us." Or also Chris Mad Dog Russo.
It's sad.
That would be fun.
It's sad that you got to be like, you don't know who this person is.
Trust
me.
me,
reach out to him.
Tom Arnold and Mad Dog. They may not hit the demographics you want, but they're going to be entertaining if you get them behind a microphone. Just trust me on that. So,
I agree.
Yeah. So there you go. You have that to look forward to. Tom Arnold on the podcast coming next week. Until then,
I really wish Fanatic Fest was in LA.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Me too.
Maybe next year.
Well,
Michael Rubin.
I do and I don't. I do because obviously it's a lot closer for us. It's way more convenient. I don't because New York pizza.
No,
true.
I mean, we are gonna get.
We're gonna have so much good pizza. So much good pizza.
I am actually probably gonna eat pizza every night.
Yeah, me too.
That's what it should be.
The
thing is, you're gonna find a place that's like dollar pizza, and it's still gonna be.
No.
But listen.
No.
You're
we're
gonna
going
find
to the
a
good
place.
spots.
You go to the good spots, of course. But there's gonna be a night where you're like, nothing's open. We're out a little late. All that's open is dollar pizza place, and it will still be better than anything you can get out here.
Tell you what, it'll be better than Little Caesars.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is the worst pizza in the planet.
Not good. Crazy bread's good.
Yeah. You can't mess up butter, bread, and cheese. Like impossible. Like it would be.
Oh, you'd be shocked.
No,
you'd be surprised.
no. I mean, if anybody could do it, Little Caesars probably could mess it up. But
bread,
yeah,
butter,
they
and cheese.
crazy bread. Yeah, they got it dialed in.
Yeah.
Good for them.
They figured it out.
Well, again,
They figured it out. You think you can't mess up pizza though, and they figured out a way to do that.
oh, they did.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to mess up pizza.
I'll
There's
tell
a
you
lot of ways
though,
to
like
mess
a
up
fresh
pizza.
Little Caesars is fine. It's fine. Fresh.
It's-
You let that age for 30 minutes, bad.
I will tell you, it is food.
That might even be pushing it.
That's it. Like
Might be pushing it.
it's edible. You can eat it.
You can eat it and you won't
Probably
die.
not a great thing that you should eat, but it's
No.
edible. You can eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't
I
have
am
Little
looking.
Caesars.
I am looking forward to. I'm gonna carb load up.
Yeah.
I
Because if you're not having pizza, you're just gonna go somewhere and have like great Italian food. You know?
like pretzels. Like I think
Yeah.
I think every bar usually has like the soft pretzel.
Yep.
Like,
No, we're gonna hit up all the bodegas, dude.
Yeah. Oh, get a chopped cheese. Yeah.
Yeah.
And be crazy and be like, throw some mozzarella sticks in there, put some hot Cheetos on it. like the insane, like I don't even know what people do. I feel like it's just Instagram stuff.
Come back, my cholesterol is gonna be through the roof.
Yep. Enjoy it. Great. The city that never sleeps. Bars open till 4 a.m. too. So
Yeah, I mean,
The bar actually, I do think the bars kind of just stay open as long as there's patrons in there.
yeah.
Like if it is like 1:30 and like you're the only one in there,
Yeah.
they'll basically be like,
Well,
yeah,
yeah.
we want to go home.
Well, legally you can stay open till 4 if you're a bar.
But I think they basically they take inventory and they're just like, yeah, you being the only person in here,
yeah,
drinking,
that's a wrap.
drinking one Coors Light every 2 hours, like I want to go home.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
wrap. Yeah,
Get out of here.
yeah. So, well, don't be the one drinking one Coors Light at the bar.
I was gonna say
in the
Fanatics
morning.
Fest itself as well. I'm obviously excited. I'm very curious to see what the show is looking like.
Yeah.
Because like the whole marketing is like that. Michael Rubin keeps saying that it's like the Comic-Con version of sports cards. So you can kind of like start to wrap your head around what that means. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be the national. It's going to be a convention where there's a lot of exciting new things announced. There's going to be obviously a lot of big names that show up, bigger athletes than you would see at something like the national. So I'm excited, man.
You know what's funny? That analogy that it's like going to be a Comic-Con for sports cards. Never been to a Comic-Con.
Yeah, I've never been
But
one either.
I've been to a million card shows. So I am actually going in I don't know what to expect.
I was like half joking about this yesterday. That if they wanted to replicate Comic-Con, like obviously like the show floor, like national show floor.
Have you been to Comic-Con?
Yes.
Okay.
I went 2012 and 13.
Like
Went
the
back to
San
back
Diego
years.
one.
San Diego.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
the OG, like the
hold
real
on.
one.
The one.
Before you continue and tell
Yes,
us,
yes.
because I do want your what you experienced there.
Yeah.
But I want to say this is how I envision it, and I've never been to Comic-Con. So you have like the way the Fanatics left, the way they're setting it up. There's a bunch of different panels in different halls that you can go to.
Yep.
Of things that they're gonna have athletes. They obviously have celebrities and athletes signing, but there's also a lot of vendors.
Yep.
Like we're gonna be a vendor there, and it's obviously a huge venue, right? Is that kind of how Comic-Con works?
I think you kind of hit it on the head. Yeah, it is basically like whereas the national is more about going to the vendor booths, going and buying stuff, selling stuff, doing all that. Comic-Con is you've got like 4 or 5 different groups of people. You've got the panel people who are just like there are literally 20 different panels going on simultaneously. Like, I might be over-exaggerating. Like 10 different panels going on simultaneously. Movies, TV, comics, all the toys, everything.
Okay.
And then you have, like, the exclusive drops. Like, there's going to be exclusive merch drops. You have all of those people.
Big Apple refractor
Yep,
boxes.
Yep. You have
Travis
you
Scott.
got the autograph people who are going and be like, oh, Lou Ferrigno's at this booth for an hour. Oh, now it's whoever else is at this booth. It's
Tom
always
Brady
Lou,
at this
yeah.
booth for an hour.
Right. Whatever.
It's always Lou Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno's always at Comic-Con.
Like, I'll sign everything.
Yeah, he's always
Stop
there.
calling me Hope.
And then on the outside, though,
They'll chase you
and
down.
this is the part where I'm like,
you want an autograph?
yeah, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's kind of what it's become. This is the part I'm wondering how they're going to replicate this, because the fun of Comic-Con too is that you can have a good time if you're in the area without a ticket, because the gas lamp is all Comic-Con'd out, like exhibits and like free events you can do. Like there's for like a week, it becomes kind of like a free temporary theme, like a carnival. The carnival came to town for a week. Like Adult Swim always does like a really big pop-up, like they have inflatable slides and carnival games and giveaways. There's always like a few extra things, like sort of viral, like like mazes and stuff you can do. When I went in 2013, because the Padres are never in town, Petco Park at night became a Walking Dead experience, and it was like they made it into a giant haunted house.
So you telling us that, it makes me hopeful, because obviously Fanatics has a crap ton of money, obviously.
Yep.
And I can see them building like these little cool experience for customers, for just people that are coming to the show, stuff like that. That's very unique. That you're like, you can walk away and you're like, hey, that was actually pretty cool. like whatever display
Yeah.
or we walk through and see whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a maze or something like that.
And there's always the thing that they're like, if they have enough, so they got enough stuff here where like the thing that's always going to happen too is it's like, oh, I want to do this. Oh, that panel got full. All right, well, this is my B choice. I guess I'm going to do that. Or like, oh, I'm going to find a way to squeeze into this random party by signing up for an app or an email thing or an email list or whatever. There's a lot of that, which I know at Fanatics Fest there's going to be a lot of like, hey, how can I get into this party or that party, and without having to pay an arm and a leg.
And I'm also, I'm dialing it back because I understand that this is their first show, so there's
first.
there's probably gonna be a lot of hiccups or whatever. But I'm also
it should be the best one.
it should be the best one. Yeah.
Like the thing is that if
They're gonna go all out for it.
If you want to grow on something like this, like the first one has to be
Amazing.
so memorable that just the mindset of the people who went to the first one are like,
They tell people about it.
I got to go to the
I
next
have to go
one.
every year
I have
now.
to go every year. And
Yep.
that's really how Comic-Con became so popular from what I've heard is that like just out of the gate, it was such a crazy experience to where, if I'm not mistaken, the San Diego one sells out. Like
It sells out instantly. Well, to the point.
Like you're in advance.
Well, like when we had tickets, because we went again, because it's like, well, we don't ever want to give this up because you get first priority. Once you're in and you get tickets, the next year they send you a priority email like a month before tickets go on sale. And they're like, you have first dibs. So you always get first dibs, and that's how they keep you coming back to, which I'm sure they'll do the same with Fanatics Fest. If you got the 3-day pass, like they'll email them and be like, yeah, if that's what they're going to do and emulate it, these are all the things they got to do. It's a lot, but
Like I could imagine them like being maybe like what you explained about the Padres, right? And maybe they do something at Madison Square Garden or something.
Yeah.
One night.
I don't think they're Javits Center. How far is it from?
I don't know.
MSG?
I'm just throwing it out
Yeah,
there.
I know you're right. But they should. Yeah.
Not that. So Javits Center, I think, is right near Hell's Kitchen, which I really do not think is very far to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Because I think last time we were there with Donovan, I think he basically we went to Hell's Kitchen. We also drove by Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're like a little off of Midtown. So yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, you're not far at all. Like that's maybe about 4 or 5 blocks.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So I'm just throwing it out there. I'm like
that's close.
they could possibly do something like that, even if it's not at Madison Square Garden. Maybe it's at another venue around that area.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying?
before we go, I just saw this comment from Card Hunter. I don't know if it's a joke or not. It'd be funny if you dress up. Did you hear if you dress up as a pro athlete, they're picking people every hour to participate with the athletes if you dress up as a pro?
That sounds like
Pros versus
that sounds
Joes.
like a very Comic-Con thing to do.
That would be a very Comic-Con thing to do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And if it's like Comic-Con too, you're gonna have people like walking around in disguise.
What about those?
You're gonna
You
have all
guys
that stuff, too.
seen the Bash Brothers at the National
Oh man.
with the needle in their arms?
Comic-Con isn't. It's not like a furry convention, though, right?
No, that's different.
Okay.
That's
furry
different.
convention?
There's cool, like there's incredible costumes and cosplay and stuff. That's part of like.
Do you not know what a furry
I
convention
know
is?
what
Well,
I know
and
what
that's all the time we have
I
for
know what a
today.
furry is because one of the best fighting game players in the world is a furry.
There you go. There you go. Could be in the next Olympics in esports.
Could be.
Could be our first furry. All right. Oh, we got there. We got to furry.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean, it's just a convention.
Yeah.
It's just a
It's
convention.
just a convention.
And it's the biggest one comes right around here every year at San Jose.
Yeah, no,
the biggest one in
we're
the
at the
world.
mecca of the we're the furry mecca capital of the world.
And don't you forget it. And by the way, that is confirmed. Ruben, thank you, Card Hunter. Ruben said that in an interview. So there you go. Dress up as your favorite athlete, and someone's gonna tap you on the shoulder. If you're dressed up like in a full tackle football uniform,
No.
you're gonna get tapped on the shoulder by Ray Lewis.
I'm gonna go dressed up as a wrestler now
Oh,
because my daughter needs some autographs and I need to make sure.
yeah, we gotta try. Somebody's gotta try,
I'm gonna dress up as Cody Rhodes
dude.
with the blonde hair.
Dude. Oh my God. Now I'm stoked. All right. C-Rad will report back in a couple of weeks. We'll be at Fanatics Fest again. We'll be set up. We've got we're selling boxes. We're selling singles. Gonna get a preview of some of those singles.
Doing
later in the week.
giveaways.
Doing giveaways.
I mean, there's T-shirts that we're giving away that are sick.
Can we announce something happening on Thursday of next week? Is that something we can announce, or maybe we say let's wait on that one? Special event that's also happening at Fanatics Fest.
I think we can announce it.
Okay, Fanatics Live at Fanatics Fest.
2 p.m. to 5 p.m. We're going to be doing a little football mixer, 4-year football mixer.
Yes.
And we're going to be doing it on Fanatics Live.
Yep, at the Fanatics Studios.
Fanatics
in New
Studio.
York.
Pretty excited about it.
It's going to be cool. So, yeah, we can't wait to see it. That'll be a lot of fun. If you want to get in on that, I believe you can go on Fanatics Live right now.
There will be there'll be more details. I don't know if it's listed quite yet.
Okay.
I think C-Rad was probably working on getting the pricing together, but it'll be up in a couple days, and there will be some social media posts that we'll put out there.
There you go.
With how to buy teams, and we'll probably be giving away some teams, and you know it's gonna be dope.
Yeah, and of course, get your free T-shirt on the show floor.
And what else? I think that's about it.
It's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on,
and of course there will be interviews, podcasts, whoever you guys can.
A lot of content
grab
coming out of the
lot
show.
of content coming.
It's gonna be a lot of content coming out of the show.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. All right, guys, that's it for today's show. Thanks for watching. If you're on the live, if you're listening to us, we're always live every Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, except for next week when we'll be live Tuesday. But we're usually live 3 p.m. Pacific time every Wednesday. Mojobreak Media on YouTube. For Dan, C-Rad, Doug, I'm Cody. This has been The Hype. Mojobreak. See you next time. Peace.